Hello friends, I'm so excited that you can be with us today because we're going to be talking about 9 pro makeup artist tips for women 50 plus that can really make a difference. So if you have mature skin and you're over 50, 60 or beyond, I hope you'll stay with us because I think there'll be some tips that will be valuable for you today. At least I hope so. I also want to say a special welcome to those of you who are joining us from 60andme.com. So glad to have you with us today as well. My name is Elise. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm a professional working makeup artist who specializes in helping those of us who are 50 plus look on the outside how we feel on the inside, so we can look and feel our confident best. And I hope you'll join our family of subscribers to our channel. We would love to have you with us. And if you hit that little bell icon below the video, you'll receive notifications every time a new video is available. And we record new videos and upload them to YouTube every Thursday. So I thank you so much in advance if you decide to do so. Really appreciate it. Well, let's dive into these 9 tips that can really make a difference, and it covers a wide range of things, from eyes to powder to you name it. So we'll go forward and dive in. The first tip relates to those pesky little eyebrow wiry hairs that some of us have. I don't know about you, but I seem to only have them on one eyebrow and not the other, which I can't quite figure out. But they can be interesting. They can go in places that we don't anticipate, and we certainly didn't have them a few years ago. So we can, of course, use brow gel to tame them. And brow gels come in either a clear variety or a tinted variety. So they can work very well. But as a cost-saving effort, there is something else we can do that can save us a little bit of money, and that is we can use a spoolie. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with a spoolie. It's a little device that looks like a mascara wand, and sometimes these spoolies come by themselves, as this one does, or they come at the opposite end of an eyebrow brush, or there are even disposable mascara wands that work really well as spoolies also. So all you need to do is take a spoolie, take a little bit of hairspray, spray it on the spoolie, and then run it through that eyebrow that has the unruly wiry hairs, and that will tame them in no time. Second tip relates to eyes as well. And this is another cost-saving effort, and that is to use eyeshadow as eyeliner. Now, maybe some of you already do this, but one caveat I want to mention right up front is that not all eyeshadows are created equal in terms of their ability to be a good eyeliner. Even high-end shadows that you would think would be more highly pigmented, and they usually are more highly pigmented, aren't always the ones that will work best. So you have to do a little experimenting to find out which eyeshadow in your collection will really work the best. And I have one with me that I just wanted to share with you. This is an eyeshadow pan. Well, actually there are 6 eyeshadows in this particular eyeshadow. Let me turn down the mirror here so it's not quite as bright. As you can see, there's brown, black, green, sort of a very light cream color, gold, and pink, which may seem like a really odd assortment of colors, but actually it works beautifully. And at some point I'm going to do a tutorial using this particular group of eyeshadows because it's a gorgeous collection by Eve Pearl, who's a makeup artist who does the makeup for the women on The View. This particular eyeshadow grouping is called the Ultimate. So I usually will take a brown or a black or combine a little bit of brown or black from this eyeshadow palette and use either an angled eyeshadow brush, or another brush that works really well for this is a brush with a flat tip on it. In fact, I like this one especially because you cover more ground more quickly with this one. And then dip your eyeshadow brush into the eyeshadow and then use it as an eyeliner. You can also wet your brush in advance and then dip it in the eyeshadow, or you can also take your eyeshadow brush, dip it in the eyeshadow, and then spray a little bit of setting spray on the eyeshadow. That will keep it in place even longer. And this particular setting spray I'm going to mention is called All Nighter from the brand Urban Decay. It works very well. So that's a great cost-saving thing to sort of double up, multitask with your makeup products and use your eyeshadow as eyeliner. And there's one other thing I want to mention about eyeliner. Some of us, as we've gotten a little bit older, have problems with tearing or watering eyes. I know this is a big issue for several friends of mine. And there is a way to help make eyeliner stay on more effectively if we have problems with watery or tearing eyes. And that is to make our eyeliner waterproof. And you can basically make any eyeliner waterproof by using this one trick. Let me share it with you. There are two different products. Well, there are probably more than two, but these are the two I'm familiar with. This one is from a brand called Makeup Forever. It's called Aqua. There's another one from a brand called Inglot, and that name of that product is Duraline. And both of them work the same way. So you basically take just one drop of this product, put it on the back of your hand, and then dip your brush in your eyeshadow that you're using as eyeliner, and then put just a tiny little bit of the Duraline or Aqua on the brush, and then apply that as your eyeliner. That will make your eyeliner absolutely waterproof. So whether you have teary eyes or watery eyes, or you're heading to a wedding in the near future, that can be a great way to waterproof and make sure your eyeliner stays in place without budging. The next tip also has to do with eyes, and this is about our eyelashes. I know some of us have more issues with eyelashes as we get a little bit older. Maybe they're not quite as long as they were, or we don't have quite as many, but there is a way to make our eyelashes look even better. And that's by using this particular tool. It's an eyelash curler. And I know it looks a little bit like an instrument of torture, and it's not the easiest thing to learn how to use. It can be a little intimidating, but oh my goodness, it makes such a difference in curling and lengthening our eyelashes before we put on mascara. So I'd like to show you a quick tip with the eyelash curler, and that is to obviously you want to put it, and I'm going to look into a magnifying mirror here. I'm going to put it as close to the base of my eyelashes as possible, and then close it very gently so I don't catch any lid skin in the eyelash curler. And then I'm going to lift my elbow up high. That will help create a greater curl in the eyelashes. I'm going to hold it there for about 5 seconds. And then the next important thing to do is to stair step up the eyelash with your eyelash curler, and again hold it for 5 seconds, and then keep stair stepping up until you get to the end of your lashes. That technique will give you the greatest curl and make your lashes look the most voluminous. Also, another trick, and I've not tried this one yet, but I'm going to. Someone I talked to recently said that what she likes to do is put her eyelash curler when she first starts her makeup in her bra. That warms up the eyelash curler, so by the time she gets to using the eyelash curler on her lashes, the eyelash curler has heated up, and that helps add to the effectiveness of the curl. So maybe something you want to try as well. The next tip I have for you relates to how we can help our skin look even more glowing. And that is to use an exfoliating product at least once or twice a week. Now, what exfoliation does is it gets rid of dead skin cells on our skin. So what we want to do is get rid of those dead skin cells. And to do that, most brands have created some kind of exfoliating paste. You can find them in all drugstore brands and in all more expensive brands as well at department stores. And there's one in particular that I absolutely love, and I have to say it's on the pricier side, but it also is extremely long-lasting. And this is a brand, it's a Japanese brand called Tatcha. Maybe some of you are familiar with it. They make a full range of makeup and skincare products. And this particular Tatcha brand for exfoliation is called the Deep Polish Rice Enzyme Powder. And I think there are 3 different formulations of this. You just shake a little bit of the powder into the palm of your hand, add some water, and it foams up, and you just gently brush it around your face for just a couple of minutes, and then rinse it off. It will make an amazing difference. In fact, I must confess that a while back I was getting kind of lazy and I was skipping my exfoliation because I was using a sonic cleansing brush to help cleanse my skin after putting on makeup. And the brush does help exfoliate. So I thought, well, maybe I really don't need to use an exfoliating product. But a few weeks ago I went back to using my exfoliating powder, and I was astounded by the difference. I mean, literally looking into the bathroom mirror, my skin looked 1 or 2 shades lighter than it did previously. So I am really sold on using some kind of exfoliating product once or twice a week. The next thing I want to talk about is blush. Now, many of us for many years have used a powder blush, and there's some beautiful ones out there. But as we get a little bit older, for most of us, our skin gets a little bit drier, and using a cream or liquid blush can really be a beautiful way to go. It adds more moisture to the skin. It really glides on seamlessly. It can look really beautiful. However, a lot of cream blushes come in this kind of format, a stick. And this particular stick blush I absolutely love. It's by a company called Ilia, I-L-I-A, which is a clean company, which means they basically do not use any harmful products in the manufacture of their products. This blush is absolutely gorgeous, but because it's a stick formulation, it doesn't go on extremely easily. So what I like to do is take a bit of a moisturizer, and I'm going to use, in this case, this is a moisturizer from Clinique. It's their 72-hour Moisture Surge, which is the most hydrating form of their Moisture Surge moisturizer. And I'm going to put just a tiny little dab of that. I'm not actually going to do it, but what I would do is I would put a tiny little dab of that on the back of my hand. Then I would dip my finger into the blush. I would then dip my finger with the blush on it into just a tiny bit of that moisturizer, very tiny bit, and then I would put it on my cheeks. That helps the blush absolutely glide on effortlessly. The other benefit to using the moisturizer with the blush is that it gives an added glow to your skin, which really can be beautiful. And obviously you're adding more moisture to your skin as well. And by the way, as long as we're talking about blush, remember how we used to talk about putting blush on the apples of our cheek? Well, ladies, where have those apples gone? They have changed a little bit. Gravity has made a difference. Really now, as we get a little bit more mature, the best place to put blush is really on about the middle part of our cheekbone area, from here to about here. That helps lift our whole face and our cheek area. So that is just one additional tip with blush. Let's talk also about the whole shiny nose phenomenon. I know for years most of us powdered, and many of us probably still do powder, but even if I powder, 10 minutes later I end up with a really shiny nose. So I have found a trick that really works well. I will take a eye base, or eye primer as it's called. This particular one is really my favorite. It's by Urban Decay. It's called their Eyeshadow Primer Potion. And I want to use a color that matches my skin tone. They do make formulations that are clear and deeper tones, but I'm going to use one that matches my skin tone, which is called Eden. And I am going to take a little bit of that eye primer base or potion, and I'm going to apply it on my nose where I want to get rid of that shine, and I'm going to gently just rub it in. And it's amazing what a good job that does. And it makes sense, actually, that it does a good job, because basically the whole point of eyeshadow primer or base is to prevent the oil on our eyelids from seeping through and causing creasing or smudging for our eyeshadow. So what we're doing is simply applying that same technique and preventing the oil from our nose from shining through by using the eyeshadow base on our nose. The next tip also relates to powder. As we get older, as I've mentioned earlier, our skin sometimes gets drier, and sometimes powder may not be as useful as it used to be in terms of setting our makeup. Now, I must admit, I still use powder down the T-zone area where I have a little bit more oiliness because I have combination skin. I try to use as little powder as possible. But I still want to set my makeup, especially if I'm going to be gone all day or going to be out late at night. I really want my makeup to last and to stay looking as good as when I first put it on. So the thing you can use instead of powder is to use a setting spray. And I like to use, again, the one that I showed earlier, Urban Decay's All Nighter. And what I'll do is I'll take a makeup sponge, I'll dampen the makeup sponge, and then I'll wring it out thoroughly, take a paper towel and wring it out one more time, and then I'll spray the makeup sponge with the setting spray. And then I will simply blot the setting spray on to my makeup. Now, the reason for this kind of motion is that if I were to rub it, I would probably move or dislodge some of the makeup. So I want to keep my makeup in place and have it last for quite a long time. So I will simply sort of pounce it on to my makeup, and that will really help it last a lot longer. Another terrific thing you can do is simply wet your before putting on the setting spray, you can simply wet your sponge, as I demonstrated earlier. And just since it's damp, applying it like this adds more moisture to your makeup. It just adds an additional glow to your skin. That can be a beautiful look. And sometimes I'll do that before applying the setting spray. As long as we're talking about setting spray, I also want to mention another one. This is more of a finishing spray as opposed to a setting spray. But this is an amazing new product that I've just started using. Again, it's made by Tatcha, the Japanese company, and this is an illuminating face mist. This adds a beautiful glow to the skin. Now, you can either spray it on after applying your makeup, or again, I sort of prefer to put it onto a makeup sponge and push it into my makeup to add some added glow. You can also put this on your skin before putting your makeup on. And I've actually done both. I'll apply it before putting my makeup on and then use a little bit with my makeup sponge after my makeup. And that can add a gorgeous glow as well. So those are our 9 pro makeup artist tips for those of us who are 50 plus. I hope there are at least 1 or 2 tips that can be helpful to you. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, I hope you give it a thumbs up. And if you know of anyone else that also might find some of these tips helpful, I hope you'll share this video with them. And I thank you so much if you decide to do that. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope in the comment section below you'll let us know any special makeup tip you have that's been really helpful for you. That will help all of us. Why not share as much as we can to help each other? I hope you'll join us next Thursday for another video. Until then, I want to wish you much health and happiness, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.